Well, it finally happened. I've joined the bandwagon, or rather, participated. It's a new world as the SG3 podcast is now live on YouTube. I'm your host, Shravan. And frankly, I've got a lot to say about various topics, actually. Mostly sports, mostly about what you see on television these days with all the hot takes and clickbait. And, you know, we've lost sight of reality. We're now entering a world where we say something and it's going to be liked and disliked, and you have to pick a side. Fair enough. But whatever happened to the days of embracing debate? Whatever happened to the days of just giving an opinion and not having to be criticized or raked through the coals for it? Whatever happened to objectivity? These are all questions we need to ask. Heck, as a matter of fact, we should look at ourselves. For all of us that are very powerful with our fingers on our keyboards, we rarely have the courage to go say it face to face. Having said all that, podcasts tend to be a source of freedom to just say what we want to say. It's Charles Barkley like. And as a Chuckster would say, I'm going to say what the hell I want to say. And people are going to like it or dislike it. So that's my view. And now as I join the YouTube community, that's exactly what I plan to do. Give you all the latest, give recaps of what's going on in the sports world, and then offer my take on it. Because why not? Everybody's got a view. Why can't I? So today I'll kick it off with something pretty simple, actually. The DeAndre Hopkins saga. Rumors are persisting that the Titans have made the most aggressive offer to the former Pro Bowler, with the Patriots not too far behind and the Kansas City Chiefs also in the mix, rather silently, as the defending champions would do. Let me say this to y'all. Wherever he goes, he's going to be fine. But he will be a massive problem in Tennessee. Not him per se, but the situation. Because you have to understand, that's a place that is, historically speaking, a running organization. Think back to Earl Campbell. Think to Derrick Henry now. I'll even throw in Chris Johnson for all that cares. You know that season where he went for 2,000 yards and got the Titans to the playoffs only to lose to Joe Flacco and the Ravens? Yeah, that Chris Johnson. The guy who put the speed on in the RCA Dome before John Ross took over in the now named Lucas Oil Stadium with the combine record of the 40s. So if Hopkins goes to Tennessee, do we really know what he's getting into? I mean, sure, Ryan Tannehill, Malik Willis, if he makes the roster, or even Will Levis for that matter. Levis, the supposed first-round quarterback that wound up slipping to the second round. Who knows, right? But then we get to New England. Oh, God. If Tom Brady was in charge, probably would have been a better choice. But with Mac Jones there, do we really trust it? And I'm not saying it's Mac Jones' fault. Because you see, the offensive coordinator is Bill O'Brien. And you might have not forgotten that O'Brien was once the head coach slash general manager in Houston, where Hopkins was drafted. It's part of a very weak 2013 draft class, I might add. But then that begs the question, will Hopkins be able to forgive O'Brien, put aside his ego? And I'm talking about O'Brien. Will he put aside his ego? Because Hopkins is not the one with the problem. Will they be able to coexist to help Mac Jones after the disaster that the Matt Patricia and Joe Judge era brought in New England? The answers we'll wait to see. Because right now, Bill Belichick is looking at this from a point of he could end up having the most losses in NFL history faster than the most wins. That's really where this has come down to. The once proud patriots of the 21st century have now fallen to the rest of the pack. It's a shame. Truly, truly is. What do the Chiefs have to do with this mixture? I'll tell you what. It's the rich trying to get richer. How do you come off a Super Bowl championship, look to repeat? You go get the best player on the market. And you try to free up the cap space, because remember, they'll have to manipulate the numbers here and there for Chris Jones. Because he's got a 20 million plus, 28 million if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to play a key role in this. If they can get an extension done with their all-pro interior pass rusher, an all-pro receiver could be joining the Chiefs and giving Patrick Mahomes more help. Excuse me. But then again, who knows, right? Who knows? All I can say is, if I'm DeAndre Hopkins, I'm going to choose the best possible situation for myself. I don't care what reports put out there. I don't care what any outside noise would say. Whatever I feel is best is where I'm going. And it doesn't matter. Wish him nothing but the best. Now let's transition to another more interesting topic. The 2023 Cricket World Cup. Now, for some of you, you may not be interested in that. Throat issues. But to me, it's a little bit more personal. Because you see, 2023, this year's edition, is in India. Very personal, if you ask me. India's the host. They're trying to win their first cup since 2011, the first World Cup. Among those in the mix are the obvious ones: Australia, New Zealand, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, who just won the qualifiers. Of course, Pakistan, defending champion England, Afghanistan, and the Netherlands. The Dutch are coming to India. And the West Indies are not. That's the one that kind of, it's a little bit of a stunner, because they were the ones who won the very first two editions. Now they're not even qualified for it. Sad day. But what can you expect? I mean, they don't necessarily have the superstars. So if all else fails, you would expect that they'd try to figure out how to reverse history and fix themselves up. But I digress. So here are the qualifying teams: Afghanistan, Australia, Bangladesh, England, India, the Netherlands, New Zealand, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and South Africa. That's a pretty good field, if I do say so. No West Indies. That's a little shocking one, but as stated before, they weren't good enough to make it. Sometimes name doesn't matter. Heck, many people thought Scotland would get in because of what they've done in the qualifying rounds, but somehow, someway, the Netherlands pulled it out. The Dutch are on their way to India. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Of course, I have my choice of who I believe will win, and I would hope to be India. But we all know what time it is. Australia is going to be the team to beat. England, of course, the defending champions. You can't necessarily count them out. And Sri Lanka and Pakistan, they're playing on the subcontinent. Those pitches are definitely going to help their team. I know Sri Lanka is being a little bit disrespected right now because of, they got through the qualifier. They're going to face quote unquote real competition. At the end of the day, if you win the games, it really doesn't matter. Heck, we even saw in 2003, of all teams, Kenya get to the World Cup semifinal, albeit through other circumstances, but it happened. We've seen it happen before. Strange things have happened. Heck, we saw Sri Lanka win it in 1996. No one saw that coming. No one thought Pakistan would take it in 1992. India in 1983 against the West Indies. How do you beat the mighty West Indies after what they had done the first two cups? 87 Australia. Now, we all know what happened in 99, 2003, 2007. That was just Ricky Ponting and company taking over. Although I cannot forgive 2003, and for obvious reasons, because India got beaten in that game. And Sourav Ganguly, I will not forgive him for that. Even though I understand sometimes why he did what he did, letting Australia take the bat first of all things. Winning in 2011, of course, was India. 2015, Australia. 2019 was won by England. Question is, who will take it this year? Hopefully India. But like I said, who knows? Who knows? It's going to come down to whether or not the bowling for India's team can hold up and the batting order can be consistent. Thankfully, they're playing on their type of soil, their type of pitches. After all, home field advantage has worked in the past three cups. 2011 was India, 2015 Australia, and 2019 in England. Lord's Stadium was one of the venues for 2019, and the English team did pretty well there. Now we've got some good matches coming up in India in places like Mumbai, Hyderabad, Delhi. There's going to be a lot of good things to watch here. So I know my family's watching. Heck, they're probably going to buy subscriptions right now. Because who knows? Heck, we even had the USA in the qualifiers. The USA team was actually in the qualifying competition. But they got beat. It's going to be a while before we, as a country here in the USA, can play the international game of cricket like that. It's going to take a while. But who knows? Maybe we'll be good someday. If they keep enhancing the sport here, then what's to say we can't? But I'll leave that up to the players. I'm just going to make the comments. In any case, I'm going to wrap this up today. Not bad for a first episode where I just deliver my thoughts and I'll have plenty of guests on in the coming few episodes. You'll get to hear me talk more topics: fantasy football, life stories, basketball, pretty much anything I can get my hands on. I'm going to let people do their talking. Thank you for listening to the SG3 podcast, very first episode. Hit that subscribe button. And as always, call it like I see it. Do you?